diagram. Venn diagram is like this, and we have different components. We have like B minus S, C minus S, neither. We also have total. You see, we have different variables. So 60 students enrolled in chemistry cannot help us to just to know the neither. Cannot help us to know the neither and the both. Even when we combine the same thing with statement 2, statement 1 is not sufficient alone, statement 2 is also not sufficient. If we combine them together, what we are going to get is something like 60 minus S plus 85 minus S, 60 minus S plus 85 minus S plus N equals the total. Even when we combine them together, you see that we still have a lot of variables. We have 3 variables here. So even if you said S minus N, the total we don't still know, so we can't solve this. We select E. Next, you see in this question you are seeing here can be reduced to just saying S plus Y. This can just be reduced to saying S plus Y equals 50 or equals anything, because this is how it is. JKL JKLM. So we are looking for this distance here. What is the road distance from exit K to exit L? So if we know this distance from here to here, you don't know, or you know this distance from here to here, so you don't know. So if someone is telling you that S plus Y is 5, you can't find the if say S plus Y is 5, you can't know S or Y. It's only when you know S, maybe S is 2, that now Y becomes 5 minus 2, 3. So this one is also E. I don't know what I selected the last time. This is E. Car S drove onto the bridge exactly 3 seconds after car Y drove onto the bridge. And see the question, I'm sorry. If car S follows car Y across a certain bridge that is half mile long, so we know the distance. Half mile is 0.5 miles. How many seconds did it take car S to travel across the bridge? Car S drove onto the bridge exactly 3 seconds after car Y drove onto the bridge, and drove off the bridge exactly 2 seconds after Y drove off the bridge. But the problem here, the challenge here is that we know neither S nor Y. Assuming we know S, then we can from there find Y. Assuming we know Y, we can find S. So statement 1 is not sufficient. Statement 2, can Y travel across the bridge at a constant speed of 30? So what is the time? Assuming we are looking for Y, statement 2 will have been sufficient, but it's not Y that we are looking for. We are looking for S. Both statements are not sufficient. But now, if we know statement Y, from statement 2, we know the value of Y. If we combine it with the first statement, is now sufficient. So we choose C. The profit from the sale of a certain appliance increased, though not proportionally, with the number of units sold. Did the profit exceed $4 million on sale of 380 units? Can you attempt this one? Look at statement 1. The profits exceed 2 million on a sale of 200 units. If we now say 4 million on a sale of 380, did the profit exceed 4 million on a sale of 380 units? It must not, right? Are you here with me? Hello? Hello? Are you here? Okay. According to proportion, the profit exceeds 2 million on a sale of 200 units. The sale of 380 units can also be only 3 million. It's also an increase. But statement 2, the profit exceeds 5 million on a sale of 350 units. That means if 5 million, the profit exceeds 5 million on a sale of 350 units, then if 350 already give us 5 million, then 308 is supposed to even give us something higher. So statement 2 is sufficient. There were 17 directors present. How many people are directors of both Company K and Company R? There were 17 directors present at a joint meeting of the directors of Company K and Company R, and no directors were absent. Not sufficient. Company K has 12 directors and Company P has 8 directors. So this is not sufficient because it's just a Venn diagram, and in this Venn diagram there is no neither. So combined together it becomes sufficient. If s is an integer, is 9 raised to the power s plus 9 minus s equals b. Statement 1, if we solve statement 1, when we solve statement 1, it's going to be, statement 1 is 3 raised to the power s. Oh, I think something is missing here, because what is here is 3 raised to the power s and 3 raised to the power minus s. Okay, I think nothing is missing. Rather, what this is 3 raised to the power s plus 3 raised to the power minus s. If you remove this, if you make it square so that this place becomes b plus 2. Let's start squaring. If we square here, it becomes 3 raised to the power s, 2s, plus 3 raised to the power minus, somewhere here will be 3 raised to the power minus 2s. That is square this, square this. The middle term will be 2 times 3s times 3 minus s. So 2 times 3s, 3 raised to the power s rather, bracket 3 raised to the power minus s. This place is plus 3 raised to the power minus 2s. That is what we get if you say 3 raised to the power minus s squared. And this is still b plus 2. This one is minus. So 3 raised to the power s times 3 raised to the power minus s. S minus s is 0. So 3 raised to the power 0 is 1. So we now have 3 squared, which is 3 raised to the power 2s plus 2 plus 3 raised to the power minus 2s equals b plus 2. So this is the same thing as 9 raised to the power s, 2 cross sign of equality, plus 9 raised to the power 9 raised to the power 9 raised to the power minus s equals b. 2 we cancel 2. So statement 1 is sufficient. What about statement 2? S is greater than 0. What of b? We don't know. Even s is greater than 0, to what exactly? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 1 million? We don't know. Statement 1 is sufficient. Statement 2 is not. Guy's net income equals his gross income minus his deductions. By what percent did Guy's net income change on January 1, 1989, when both his gross income and his deduction increased? Guy's gross income increased by 4%. What of his deduction? We don't know. Guy's deduction increased by 15%. What of his gross income? We don't know. So statement 1 and statement 2, none of them is sufficient. When we combine together and we start selecting different numbers, because we can select Guy's gross income increased by 4%. So what we said right now, the current income may be is 5 and 50 or 100 and 100. Then we start varying this. The more we try different numbers, the more we get different answers. So we go for E. Paula and Sandy were among those people who sold raffle tickets to raise money for Club S. If Paula and Sandy sold a total of 100 of the tickets, how many of the tickets did Paula sell? It's going to be that the first statement says that Sandy sold 2/3 as many of the raffle tickets as Paula. Okay, so we can say S plus 2/3S equals 100. So we solve for S. That is sufficient. Statement 2. Sandy sold 8% of the raffle tickets sold. What is the total? Remember that the total is not the same thing as this 100. So only statement 1 is sufficient. Where am I? Okay, making progress. An employee is paid 1.5 times the regular hourly rate for each hour worked in excess of 40 hours per week, excluding Sunday, and 2 times the regular hourly rate for each hour worked on Sunday. How much was the employee paid last week? The employee regular hourly rate is $10. $10, but how many hours? We don't know. Last week, the employee worked a total of 54 hours, but did not work more than 8 hours on any day. Now, the challenge here is, last week and the employee works a total of 54 hours. But the challenge is the excess. There is no clear distribution of the excess. Since the excess time, there are different earnings attached to different, that is, the excess hours during the week on Saturday and Sunday. So we don't say no. The hypotenuse of a right triangle is 10 cm. What is the perimeter in centimeter of the triangle? The area of the triangle, right angle triangle, is like this. A, C. What is the perimeter in centimeter of the triangle? The area is, that is A times B. A times B equals 25. But we also know that A squared plus B squared it said the area of the triangle. So A times B equals, a little mistake there. I'm correcting it. So this should be AB is half times 25, because that is the area. But we also know that A squared plus B squared equals 10 squared. So we can now solve. That is sufficient. The two legs of the triangle are of equal length. That means if they're equal length, that is 45, 45, 90. So that when we know the hypotenuse, if here is the hypotenuse 10, so here is 10 root 2, and here is 10 root 2, which we can now use this to find the perimeter. How many of the 60 cars sold last month by a certain dealer had neither power window nor stereo? Of the 60 cars sold, 20 had stereo but not power window. Of the 60 cars sold, 30 had power window and stereo. And the stereo had both power window and the stereo. How many 60 cars sold last month by a certain dealer had neither power window nor stereo? Okay, neither power nor stereo. Of the 60 cars sold, 20 had stereo but not power window. Of the 60 cars sold, 30 had both power window and stereo. So what is missing here? Time is going. So what could be the answer of this one? I will choose. So this is pointing to not being sufficient. What if it is sufficient? So but time is going. But so what can we get? How many of the 60 cars sold last month by a certain dealer had neither power window nor stereo? They had neither. Okay, so it is about the neither. How we are going to find the neither? 60 cars sold, 20 had stereo but no power, not power window. 60 cars, 30 had power windows and the stereo. And 20 had a stereo but not a power window. So what I'm checking here is simple. I'm checking there is something in between. Okay, so I'm checking. Remember the Venn diagram. This is not the first time. So this is not the first time we are solving Venn diagram today. We have solved Venn diagram before. In fact, 2 or 3 Venn diagram today. Okay, but this one looks more. Yeah, if there's an opportunity, I'll come back to this. I'll select E first. Time is going. A report consists of 2,600 words. A report consisting of 2,600 words is divided into 23 paragraphs. A 2-paragraph preface is then added to the report. Is the average arithmetic mean of words per paragraph for all 25 paragraphs less than 120? Each paragraph for the preface has more than 100. That means it can be greater, or it might not be greater. So it can be or it cannot be, right? So it becomes, so this is possible or not possible. Why? If we work out this, 100 less than, more than 100 can be also be 101. It can also be 200. It can also be 1 million. Remember, if it consists of 2,600 words and is divided into 23 paragraphs, so that is 23 paragraphs. A 2-paragraph, that is now 25 paragraphs, is then added to the report. So we now have 2,600 plus, if we say plus 100 divided by 25 plus 101, so that will be less. What if you add 1 million? It's no longer less. But if it is under 150, then it's fewer than 150. that one is sufficient. Oh, number 10. I didn't even choose answer for number 10. Number 13. If n is an odd integer, is n plus 1 odd? Of course, n plus 2 is they say n plus 2 is even. So let n be 2. 2 plus 2 is even. Then 2 plus 1 is odd. So that is sufficient. Let n again be 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And 3 plus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 4 plus 1 is 5. So both statements are sufficient. Next question. This is a triangle. We know that in a triangle like this, s plus y plus z equals 180. Statement 1, s plus y is 139. So it's not like 139 plus z equals 180. So we can solve for z. But statement 2, y plus z is 108. Even at that, we don't even know about s. So only statement 1 is sufficient. Machine S and Y produce identical bottles at different constant rates. Machine S, operating alone for 4 hours, filled part of a production lot. Then machine Y, operating alone for 3 hours, filled the rest of this lot. How many hours would it have taken machine S, operating alone, to fill the entire production lot? Machine S produced 30 bottles per minute. How about machine Y? So there is a gap. Statement 2. Machine S produced twice as many bottles in 4 hours as machine Y produced in 3 hours. Yeah, this is sufficient. Why? Why is this sufficient? It's sufficient because we can now express S in terms of Y. Last year, a certain company began manufacturing product S and sold every unit of product S that it produced. Last year, the company's total expenses for manufacturing product S were equal to $100,000 plus 5% of the company's total revenue from all units of product S sold. If the company made a profit on product S last year, did the company sell more than 21,000 units of product S last year? The company's total revenue from the sale of product S last year was greater than 110. But we don't know. It could even be one sale. They can even produce only one thing and sell it that same amount. They must not produce that much. So statement 1 is not sufficient. Statement 2. For each unit of product S sold last year, the company revenue was $5. Now, if it's $5, remember, for them to make they cover $100,000. For them to cover $100,000, they need to sell at least 20,000 units. After selling these 20,000 units, they still need to cover the 5% of the company total revenue. But that will give us clue on whether they need to sell more than this or not. Remember, in statement 1, we are told that the revenue was greater than 110, but we don't know how to distribute it. So we select B here. Okay, missed one. Didn't answer 1. Oh, we actually solved this. The hypotenuse of a right angle triangle is 10 cm, so we selected both. Okay, this is the question. This is the one we chose E, right, because time was going. Maybe there's a little time now to look at it again. Okay, so it is how many? I have 6 minutes. How many of the 60 cars sold last month by a certain dealer had neither power nor stereo? Remember the basic equation of this. So what is the basic equation? The basic equation is the basic equation of a Venn diagram is this one. So what are we asked here? Stereo, S minus S, S, power window, W minus S, then neither. Finally, we have total. Remember that S minus S plus 10 minus S plus N equals the total. How many of these do we have? You see that we still have a lot that we don't know. So we still have a lot that we don't know. So we need to fill in all these groups before we can solve this Venn diagram. Most of them are missing. So that is my thinking. How many of the 60 cars sold last month by a certain dealer had neither power? I have 4 minutes. Of the 60, so T is 60. 20 had stereo but not power window. That will have been like where we have W minus S. This is W. When did I change it to 10? Thirty had both power window and the stereo. That is S. You see that one is still missing. We can have these ones, but this is missing. So the neither is also missing. So it is safe to select E. I will go ahead and submit. Yes, submit. Okay, it's actually 16/16 this time. Thank you. So what follows is you can add comments and I will follow up from there.